Hello and welcome to No CB, a grand strategy podcast for the 16th of December 2020. I am your host, Leona, and with me is our fantastic panel, including Rose.
Hey there.
And including Lambert.
Hello there.
And we don't know where Father Loris is. It might be another horse situation. If he shows up a little later, we'll loop him in.
Or the lack of a staircase has finally done him in.
Yeah.
I can't believe he forgot our anniversary. What a bad. It's our roughly 1 year anniversary today. I think December 11th was actually the first stream, if I'm remembering correctly. So give or take 1 year of no CB, which is kind of wild if you think about it. It's we've put out 52 episodes, which I'm trying to figure out how the math on that works out, because I do think we missed a couple of weeks for the holidays, but we'll be kind of discussing that at the back half of the show. So we'll probably go through the dev diaries and stuff a little bit faster than we normally do. Just so we can kind of hang out, talk to you guys. If you have questions for us, or about the show or whatever that you want to bring up at the end, we'll set aside some time for that. But the first little bit of news to get to before we do that is that humankind has released
a new open dev.
A new open dev scenario called Lucy, which is the first 4 eras, which is 2 more than we've been able to see before. And Rose, I believe you've messed around with this at least a little bit.
Yeah, I was able to mess around with it a few hours today. You can actually choose your difficulty setting, casual, normal, or serious. You get to start in the Neolithic period, as Lambert is showing on screen, which is something those of us who were part of a press event got to play before, but it hasn't been anything that's been an open dev before, or in any content we could show to people. Which is pretty
other than
awesome.
some B-roll that we had from before as well.
Mm-hmm.
It has all 10 cultures for the first 4 eras, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You're correct.
Did you get to play around with any new ones that seemed kind of cool so far?
I've been playing with the Phoenicians with their special harbor district. It brings in the money.
I was definitely considering going with the Phoenicians for my first run as well. It's either them or the Romans. As Leanna knows well, the Romans are really cool.
I would think you'd go with the peaceful guys. What are they called again?
The Harapans.
Yeah. Yes, because then you can just go all warlike on everyone.
Yeah, I mean, who cares what history's all about? We'll just change it to suit our whims.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It makes me think of the Bill Wirtz History of the World meme about the Phoenicians, where they made a lot of colonies and their colonies made colonies, and then
pretty much.
Yeah, it is a set map. So every time you replay it, it's the exact same map. There's no randomization. If there's a lot of cultures that you can play with, which there's all of them. Mm-hmm.
There's, even if it is a set map, there is a lot of replayability there.
Yes, and from what I've seen, like, you start on one continent, and so until you can get off of that continent, you're only meeting a few neighbors. There's definitely more going on out there.
Yeah, I'm especially eager to try out the later 2 eras, because we haven't really seen. There might have been an open dev scenario that was early modern, that was like a limited one. Am I remembering right? But
yes, we had Koreans. Koreans versus
Koreans.
Korea versus Japan.
That was a fun little scenario, actually. I remember that one quite fondly.
That was
the
very tough one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that took a few tries.
Just a few.
Just a few, yeah.
The one of the biggest kind of frustrations I had with the previous scenario was that I just felt like it ended too early. So this will be good to finally get to kind of see how things play out a little bit more.
They've
I believe
also
we're getting either 140 or 150 turns, so it's a decent chunk.
And for people who are curious and wanting to do this, you can either, if you've pre-ordered the game, then you play Open Dev. You can also, if you make a Games Together account and then go watch someone who's playing it on Twitch with drops enabled. I believe Mordred Viking is live with that right now, and Writing Bull. But if you're watching that and you watch for 3 hours across any streams, then you will get a key. You'll unlock a key that you can go and play the Open Dev yourself, and that goes from December 15th to December 28th.
And I will be playing it tomorrow with Twitch drops enabled. If you want to watch me play.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
No, that's it. If you want to watch me play tomorrow.
I was going to say also a couple of our pals are actually in the game now.
Yes.
Quill 18 and Spiffing Brit have been added as modeled leaders.
You have to watch one of their channels on Twitch streaming Humankind for 30 minutes to get it. So far we've had Burt Black and Quill 18, which for various reasons I missed their streams yesterday. Maybe they'll stream it again.
I have 3 so far. I have Quill, I have Burt Black, and I have Lewis from the Yogscast.
Oh, right, yeah, he's in there too, yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 others that haven't streamed yet. Spiffing Brit begins with a Z.
I didn't honestly know who a couple of them were, to be honest.
There's Lamardier as well from the Yogscast, and also Zerator. And I don't think he's an English language streamer, so that's why I haven't heard of him before. But he's currently streaming World of Warcraft to almost 9,000 people, so he's pretty big, one could say.
Probably, yeah. I'm glad they're getting some non-English streamers in there. I think that's important.
The only question is currently if you want to get the Spiff and Brit, you have to catch him streaming Humankind, and Spiff has never streamed on Twitch.
So that's gonna be like the one that, like, if you have it, you're a big deal because it's so rare.
Because he has to stream. He's got 23,000 followers on Twitch, which he should stream for 35 minutes. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Open the game and drink some tea. Like this. Doesn't even have to play.
I believe the streams that happened yesterday were all sponsored. So I'm wondering if he is going to have a sponsored stream at some point between now and the 28th.
Yeah.
So if you aren't following Spiff on Twitch and you want a chance, I mean, it can't hurt to, follow him and put notifications on.
Yeah. I do like that they had a Humankind put out a tweet basically saying that if you don't manage to get them now, then you might be able to get them in a little bit. And if I can just pull up, where am I looking here? And just pull up the tweet a second.
There will be opportunities both before and after release to snag all 6 of them, and maybe even more.
Yeah, and they've got the Spiffing Brit as the character being shown as they share this tweet. So
I think
maybe they have something going on.
I think they should put all the hosts of No CB Cast in the game. That's just
I'd be totally down for that. But there are the character models that you can get.
Nice. I also want, since the build is called Lucy, I really want a save converter from Ancestors to Humankind. That'd be really nice.
Which one is your favorite model there?
I mean, like, Spiff's is like just so dapper. Like, I think it like captures his online persona very well. So I like that.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's
Quill is pretty on point too for if you've watched him play Civ.
That's true. Yeah, he's like the god king of civilization. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I mean, I've met and I've seen Burke Black, Spiff, and Quill in person. They all look exactly like they do in person.
Oh yeah.
Though I don't think Spiff uses a monocle.
Close. Not in public.
You got to get a room for that. Yeah.
I would say I did have lunch with Lewis at PDXCon last week. Last time we were at PDXCon, not last week at all. Yeah, it was
What
secret
year is
PDXCon, and it looks fairly close to him as well. So,
well,
he didn't look that angry though.
If you disagree with me about who the king of civilization is, Imperator actually might be adding a way for you to have more of a say in. I'm not gonna even try to do transitions anymore.
You guys said that the Romans were the best, and that you should be playing the Romans at the beginning of humankind. So why don't we go talk about a game that's centered around the Romans?
That was Lambert. I never said that. I was going to that ironically.
True, but I probably should have went with the Greeks instead, because the Greeks are also in humankind. But hey, we're talking about the Greeks in Imperator.
Well, we have what the Arheo, I believe, described as the longest dev diary ever. So we're not going to go into super duper detail on it.
How many Groogies?
Did they give it in Groogies?
They didn't give it in Groogies, but it's a significant amount of Groogies.
See, you got to convert to Groogies. It's the metric system. You got to get on board with the universal measurements. Yeah.
It's only if you're counting patch notes, really, that it would be beaten. It's not a patch notes level.
So Groogie is the proper SI unit for patch notes.
Yes, precisely.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay. Well, the big new mechanic they announced is that they're adding elective monarchy, which they're a little bit vague about it. They said all eligible characters will be able to vote for the monarch, but I don't know if they ever said who is eligible. Is it going to be family heads or?
I think it might be anyone in your dynasty. Any eligible.
Okay.
I think if you've got regular his male only succession, then it'll probably just be the males that can vote. But if you've got equal succession, then females probably be able to vote as well. But elective monarchy, like I say, they don't know if elective monarchy even existed during this time period. Right. But the one thing I really like about it is it stops all of the potential successors from getting a massive loyalty penalty for being snubbed. I really like that idea, so I'm gonna probably be using that.
Yeah, that's nice. And they're also adding that anoint successor feature where it doesn't exactly let you choose your successor, but it gives them a plus 100 successor value.
Plus 1,000.
Or plus 1,000, at a cost of influence and legitimacy, which means, they're probably going to be selected.
I don't think there's a way to get to 1,000 with any of the other modifiers maxed out.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think this is basically... You are the next one in line.
Yeah. So that'll be especially cool if they ever add Imperial government for the Imperial era DLC that I'm convinced is eventually going to happen because.
Well, they do have an Imperial government type, right. But it's basically all your bonuses are really you get to have one extra. Idea. So you'd have 4 instead of 3. It's okay. But it's not exactly the Imperial period.
Right. And then we got to look at some they said they're not 100% finished yet, but some new unit models for the Scythian and Iberian culture groups.
I love the Iberian one. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I always loved what was was it Attila where they had the Lusitanian DLC pack or whatever? Yeah. Those guys were a lot of fun to play, and
weren't they the ones that could they had a lot of troops that could be deployed behind enemy lines?
Yeah, they were like really skirmishy, ambushy
I hated
faction.
those. I
Oh,
hated
really? Well, you were probably playing as the Romans. That's probably why you hated them.
There's one siege map where most of your enemy is just going to be up in front of you, but there's one little beach behind your fortress in the siege map, and there's no gate at the back. So if you put some of your skirmishers all the way at the back, they can just walk in. And there's nothing you can. Well, I mean, you could spend a unit to hold that position just in case they decide to put anyone there. But they just walk in, and you're doing really well, and then all of a sudden you lose, and you don't know why, and that's just screw
It
Lusitania.
sounds
Really.
like Lambert speaking from experience here.
No, yeah.
They're just ancient Navy SEALs. Like they put a little bamboo like reed or something in their mouth, and they swim around.
Bamboo in Iberia. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the famous.
they just got one of those reeds. Like, didn't you ever watch like the animated Robin Hood from?
Yeah.
Disney?
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, and then they go into a lot of detail about that jerkface Antigonus, who I hate.
I don't know why. I mean, okay, I know why you hate him, but like, he wasn't that bad of a dude.
Historically he wasn't that bad of a dude, but I like to play as like Athens and Judea a lot, and it's like I cannot tell you how many independence wars I've fought against the Antigonids in this game. It's always like, all right, how are we gonna get independence from the Antigonids so we can start playing the real game? So he's kind of my nemesis.
Mostly when I am doing something like that, I feel pity for the Antigonids because the AI is not very good at fort placement. And they'll just leave the entire interior of Anatolia just completely barren of fortresses. So if you get past one, you just ruin him, and there's no coming back for him, which is kind of sad. But if you really don't like that they are super strongy and evil and mean, you're probably gonna like the fact that I would say in most games they're going to explode.
Yeah, they did say that most, if you're not playing as them, they will generally go down the explosion route.
They do get their armies and legions and levies at half price when they go this route. So they're probably still going to be stronger than you as Athens, but they don't have an entire Anatolia to back them up.
So like he on top of everything, he underpays his soldiers. Like, it's just a big jerk. He's just a big jerk.
No, at this point he's dead. This is his son. This is Demetrius.
Well, Demetrius is a jerk then.
Fair enough.
They should unionize the legions, or not the legions. What do they call the actual units of hoplites in Alexander's?
You mean like the army in general?
Was it phalange? Did they call were the units called phalanges, or is that just the name for the formation?
I don't know. I think just a hoplite.
Yeah.
Or a phalangite.
Okay.
I don't know.
A phalanx?
I mean, they were using the sarissa. So you just call them pikemen, I guess.
Well, I was thinking like the actual format, like how Rome called a group of soldiers, like a maniple or a legion. I was trying to think of what the
I don't know.
The Greek equivalent to that was, but I don't know. Maybe someone in chat will know. But there are some little juicy tidbits in here too, like the fact that you can finally play as the Mithridatic dynasty.
Yes,
it's almost like an Easter egg, but that's really cool.
And play as Pergamon as well now.
And you can switch to Pergamon when they break away. I mean, Lambert, what is it like? What is your kind of overall takeaway? What do you think about this mission tree?
This improves the Antagonids significantly, both to play as and to play against. So the problem with playing as the Antagonids before is they start off way, way more powerful than any of the other Diadochi. And sure, they got these missions to really heavily fire these wars, the Diadochi Wars, and you're almost certainly going to be involved in wars against all of the other Daidoki, but you can still win them by just focusing on one or another of them in the current version of the game. And that seems to have been very much changed now. It seems like if you want to win as the Antagonids, it's going to be way tougher because of the way that sieging works now. Whereas in these Daidoki wars, if you siege something, you own it rather than it's just being sieged. So that's going to make playing as the Antagonids way, way harder. You can't just ignore Syria while you deal a death blow to Thrace, for example. And then, on the other hand, when you get to the point where Antigonus dies and you have to choose, do I need to focus on the East or the West? You've got these really two interesting situations where you can play as Demetrius going east and focusing on Greece, and you're reduced to this really kind of tiny power. And it's your goal for the rest of the campaign is, I need to get back the vast territories that my dad had. And that's like, it gives you a target for the rest of your campaign. And I really, really like that. Alternatively, if you go with the East, like, you're still pretty strong, but you're missing out on a whole lot of very rich, valuable land. And you're still giving up land to your neighbors, Egypt and the Seleucids, who are just stronger than you, and they're probably not going to like you. I just think it's a much improved situation, like, for gameplay.
And I think last time we talked about Heirs of Alexander, I talked about how I don't really like playing large established kingdoms because it doesn't feel like mine. It doesn't feel like my accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I like that phase at the beginning where you're kind of small and you're kind of like having to be like the swimming with the sharks.
You're fighting to survive.
Yeah.
Right. So this might actually make me play the Antagonids, because that route where you give up your kingdom and then have to kind of win it back, that sounds like that would be a lot of fun.
I really want to play this. I want to play as this Antagonids. Because when you're playing it this way, you can have that big opening, grand, entrance into your campaign where you're battling on all fronts. You're fighting in the East, the West, the South, and it's tough, and you're winning some, you're losing some. It's a lot of fun to have these big set piece wars. But then obviously you're reduced to square -5. You're set back so heavily, and you need to then build yourself back up as if it's a brand new campaign and you're playing as one of the small people. And you have to, build yourself back up as in like a normal game where you're not playing as one of the big boys. And I just think it's so interesting. And I'm playing the Antagonids first. That's just a fact. That's the first campaign. It looks so interesting. Yeah, that sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Let me see. Was there anything else I missed? Yeah, Mithridates, and I think that was all the big stuff. Yeah, we did get a look at the new achievements as well for Imperator. They've accidentally released the achievement. I don't know if it's really accidentally, but there's 15 new achievements coming with
15 or 15?
15. Oh, not 15.
15.
No.
I was like, what's...
Yeah.
How bad are the puns? That's
I mean, there's some.
Can we flog Rod? Have they finally added that?
No, they have not yet flogged Rod.
How is there still not a flog Rod achievement? Yeah, come on. Yeah.
That was promised.
There's some interesting ones and some really, really annoying. Well, not really annoying, but like the kind of trolly ones. So one of them is Corners of the World. As any nation build great wonders in Safim, Orcades, Sadia, Odoka, and Agawe. One of those is the Faroe Islands, north of Scotland. One of them is in like Morocco, like the furthest western province. One of them is in Tibet. And I think another one.
Loris is they're finally adding Tibet content, and Loris is
well, it's not. It's like Nepal, kind of north of India, basically.
Yeah.
And one of them is in like Sri Lanka. So like, you're gonna go to the corners of the world and build great wonders in each of them. So it's it's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
What I really like though, there's no timed ones. Like we're not getting a do X thing before the year 500, and I love that. The only thing that is close to being timed is as the Seleucid Empire conquer Pella before the death of Seleucus, but that's pretty doable.
Yeah, I feel like the like timed achievements or like in a single lifetime achievements have just kind of been a little bit annoying. So I'm totally okay with them moving away from that. Yeah, not that I go for achievements that often, but that's the vibe I get.
Yeah,
I'm sitting at
I
19
like
for Imperator. Not many.
Yeah,
I'm doing all right. I have got 49 out of 72 now. It was 56.
Well, they said this was one of the longest dev diaries ever. We got a fairly short one from the CK3 team that doesn't really have any new info in it, but was really just more of a kind of a wholesome holiday greeting. Talking about it'll be mid-January before we get any more dev diaries, which I don't think that we've even really heard anything about what post-launch content for CK3 is going to look like yet. So
wild speculation time.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what I was going to say. What do you think, like Rose, what do you think is the most likely to be the first big patch or DLC? Or at least like what is something that you would expect to be in there?
Flip a coin, and either the first big DLC is going to focus on like nomads and horse lords, bringing them back, or it's going to focus more on republics.
Okay.
I would see them wanting to put either of those in as the big first DLC, just because that was something that a lot of people have. Oh, why wasn't it in the release version? And they won it and missed it. And I could see either of those, but then they also might go out somewhere in left field and these get pushed back to a second or third DLC. There could be a Byzantine one because the Byzantine are a little too stable, a little too bland.
That's my personal guess. Is it's going to be Byzantine? Basically, it's going to be Legacy of Rome too.
Yeah, I mean that's also my guess, but I wouldn't call them stable. I think I'm doing a run inside the Byzantines right now, and my ruler, the emperor, is getting war after war after war, and they're all liberty wars. Like it's not that they're not losing land, they're not losing territory, but there's a whole lot of hey, back me, I want to be the emperor now. That civil war fires all the time, and also we're going to lower the crown authority, and there's very few years in the game have gone on without some kind of civil war on, which is great for me, but not so good for the emperor. I think
I still see them blob in most of my campaigns.
Oh, they're absolutely still doing that. I think the reason people are saying they're too stable, though, is the fact that they've got Primogeniture and everyone else has got Gavelkind. So succession isn't breaking away parts of the empire, and that's why they seemingly are very stable. But actual stability, I don't think is something that they have. It's just that they don't lose land.
Yeah, that's true. I do see their army sizes bounce up and down a lot.
Yeah.
So,
my ruler had an army of 300 men the last time we went to war. It was great.
The other thing I think we're going to see maybe sooner than later is going to be some sort of a mechanic for landless characters. Especially something similar to what we were talking about with Imperator, where if you are cast out of your father's or your mother's lands and have to raise an army to win it back, that's always a story I've wanted to be able to play through in Crusader Kings, but it hasn't ever really been possible. I want to go around to different nobles' courts and I don't know.
I can't see them doing that. I know people have asked about, and I think there were people asking questions if it would ever be possible, and something about the programming. But
it's
I know
too
that was the case in
inextricably linked
CK2.
to land.
Yeah, I know that was the case in CK2. My bet is that it's not going to be the case in CK3, but I haven't read all of the responses about that.
I think that I agree with you that I really want to see that, because I mean the selling point for CK3 is it is a dynasty game. You're playing as a dynasty. You're playing as a character, and the next character you play is the next one in line in the dynasty. With that being like the big focus. But honestly, you're playing as a landowner. Like, that is the truth of the matter is it's not dynasty focused, it's landowner focused. You can't play without land, whereas you're still, if you lose all your land, you can still be alive. Like in one of my recent campaigns, all of my land was revoked from me by the Emperor, and it's game over. My character is still alive. So it can't be that you're playing a character game, because the character lives and yet the game is still over.
Well, here's the thing. That's how it works right now. And I'm going to say that, especially if they're going to do the Roman Empire correctly, and I will call it the Roman Empire because I do agree with you, Lambert, that it is the Roman Empire.
Yeah, thank you.
They need to put in some way for your power to not just be tied to land. And the fact that they're not just porting over the Legacy of Rome mechanics, but they say they want to take, all the time they need and do it right. That tells me that they're going to have some sort of mechanic for being like a patrician who is like vying for governorships. I mean, that's like my dream of playing in the ERE, and so I think that the engine can support it, and I think that we will see eventually a way to have dynastic play that is not directly tied to land ownership.
There's another thing I think that might be likely as one of the first DLCs, and that is a return of the societies. I really liked societies. I think that's got a pretty heavy chance of coming back.
We have a little bit of it with like the witch covens, which are quite actually fun to do, but it feels like there needs to be a lot more with it.
Like, even if they don't add in Satanism again, and we don't get the magic that we had in CK2, just having societies in general would just be so fun. Like, it was something to do. It's like, I've got the game where I am playing as, the ruler of a certain piece of land, and I'm trying to build up the land, build up my empire and stuff. But there's also this whole other side part where you're trying to rank up inside this society and become the leader of the society. You've got all the bonuses that you get for that. It's so fun.
You have something else to do during peacetime.
Yeah.
Besides just seduce everybody.
I hate the seduction game. Honestly, that is my least favorite part of Crusader Kings. I don't enjoy it. And I hate that the AI is so infidulous, which is, I don't know if that's a word. It is now. I've coined it. Infidulous. Like your wife sleeps around even if we're fucking soulmates. I'm sorry. Quit that bullshit. Stop sleeping
Unless she's
around.
lustful. If she's lustful, she may not.
It wasn't even lustful. She was chaste. She was chaste or soulmates.
Lambert is such a Romaboo that we already have the word unfaithful, but he had to try to make up a Latin version because it exists in English.
Is infidelity actually a Latin, does that come from Latin?
Fidelis is definitely Latin, yes. And in is a Latin prefix.
Nice.
So, that is Latin, yep. So, it would be nice if it were more active. I don't like that a lot of the schemes are just like sitting around waiting for an event to fire. I'd like if there was more I could be doing. I guess you can invite agents and stuff, but
they did add more events for inviting agent, or more murder steps for this event. More events to deal with murder with the last patch, I believe, or the big 1.2. I've seen a few new ones, but But I mean, you know by now, if someone gifts you a rug,
Yeah.
someone's trying to murder you.
See, what happens as soon as I get that event where someone's gifted me a rug? I check to see if I'm lovers with my wife, because I still don't have that achievement where my wife or my lover saves me from a murder plot. I invite you to try and murder me, and I also invite my wife to stop them. I need the achievement. Just give me it already. It's so roll of dice. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think I got that like the first week the game came out.
I hate you.
Of course, I wasn't playing Iron Man, so I don't actually have the achievement. I saw that happen, like my first or second day playing CK3.
Speaking of achievements, we talked on here about how with the ruler designer, you could create a character with 3 virtuous traits and get that achievement. You create a character who was adamantite and naked, and they were the emperor of the HRE, so boom, you get that achievement. They've now turned those off. You cannot get those achievements with the ruler designer.
Probably because I showcased how you could.
Yes.
You gotta ruin it for everybody, Lambert.
Yeah, well, I got the achievement now, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, I'll be excited to see, because I'm assuming that when they get back in January, we'll be hearing something about what is in the future for CK3 other than just, fixing bugs and balance tweaks and stuff, which is what most of the last big 2 patches we got were.
I think the first
besides the ruler
for
designer
CK3 in the new year will be that.
I really, I mean, I'm excited because, I've heard some buzz that like people at Paradox saw the sales numbers and were like, okay, you can do whatever you want. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with that. And Mordred is here with 319 Vikings.
Oh,
he was just playing some humankind. Remember we were talking about doing drops and everything? If you were watching Mordred, then you were ticking away at that drop.
Yeah. To the best of luck to each of you. I hope you got your open dev stuff. It's our 1-year anniversary show if you're just now joining us of the No CB podcast, and we're always happy to have you here. We're going to roll into our last dev diary before we kind of do our retrospective of 1 year of No CB, which is going to be a kind of quick little U4 dev diary about the Philippines. It seemed like they weren't getting a lot of extra stuff, but they actually did mention that all the Philippine countries will get the Malayan missions in their 3, 4, and 5 slots, I think. So they're just adding a couple of extra ones for a couple specific tags. Tondo is one of them, and Medias is the other one, I believe. One of the interesting things is that they kind of have a new way to colonize, which is that if they conquer all of the uncolonized provinces in the Philippines, they can then complete a mission that requires them to have 2 regiments present and a population smaller than a native population smaller than 100 in the uncolonized provinces, and they will just gain control of those immediately.
That's really cool.
Which is kind of nice, because if you want to unite the Philippines and you want to lock the outside colonizers out, that'll be kind of a easier way to do that than taking up a whole idea group slot for it. Although I don't know, I feel like I would still want expansion ideas at least anyway, just because they're an island chain. Like I don't want to be stuck on that island chain the whole game.
A quick question. In one of the previous dev diaries, were we told about Sunda being split in half? Because that's not like that in the current version of the game, is it?
There have been a lot of
think we were
diaries about Southeast Asia. Yeah.
Wait, this is Majapahit, isn't it? Maybe it is like that in the current version of the game, and it's just the game that I'm currently playing, Sunda already annexed them. Yeah, that might be it.
Oh no, they definitely talked about that.
Okay, but this orange one definitely doesn't. This one's new. I know that for sure.
Yeah, they showed it.
There's a lot of
They showed us that in a dev diary months ago.
Okay, all right. I'll let them
Yeah,
off.
they
then,
added
I'll
a bunch of new provinces and tags.
Yeah, this is a new tag here.
Malaysia and Indonesia, yeah.
With a rebel flag.
And we get some discrete pirate content for Palembang too, which is pretty cool. Some ways that they can kind of break free from being a Chinese tributary, and they can get Admiral Chen, who is a Chinese pirate that has amazing stats that should let you kind of punch above your weight, because there's the only way to get to them is over water for most people. So if you have a really good admiral, your army might not even matter that much.
Being a pirate around the Indonesian islands is amazing fun, especially when you have the range to pirate Ming. You make so many ducats, and you can kill the mandate just by privateering. It's great.
Yeah, I haven't done that. I've done the Caribbean pirate thing, but I haven't done a Southeast Asian pirate nation yet. So that'll be definitely fun to try out. The other thing though that I was like really excited to hear about, that's kind of hidden down in the comments, is that they say we'll be addressing Polynesia in our next dev diary, and Australia a little bit later. You'll have to wait till next year though. So it sounds like we might finally be getting some Polynesian and Aboriginal Australian tags playable, which is really cool. I think I brought up before that, like, I'm pretty sure I brought up in a previous episode that like there really isn't a good reason not to have them. Like, there are tribes on the map already that are roughly equivalent in power, if not weaker than some of them. I mean, Australia's tricky because there were so many tribes, and there weren't really any that were like
united,
very like hegemonic over the others. So you would almost need a game with like 100 times as many provinces as you need for. But you can abstract it. I like that better than just not having them in the game at all. And Polynesia especially, like, there should be at least a few.
Yeah, I think this is actually probably the fourth podcast that you've mentioned that. That you want a Polynesian tag. Which I'm totally in agreement with.
I like my Pacific. I like playing in the Pacific, and I think they're in underrepresented people groups in strategy games. I really liked playing as Polynesia in Civ 5. They were one of my favorite civs. How they kind of could start out by like colonizing across the ocean as like the first step of their journey. That was a lot of fun. So,
and when they finally add it, they'll post a video of the Rock singing that you're welcome.
Yeah. Of course.
Surprisingly good singer, that man.
Mission tree. Where
there's actually a really cute TikTok video of him singing that song. He's got his daughter on his lap, and she's listening to it, and he's singing the song with her, and she just wants him to keep playing it over and over again. She doesn't believe it's him singing.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
It's so catchy, though. It's so catchy.
You're welcome.
It's a great movie. I mean, I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing. But,
yeah. So I think that is about all we have for game news this week. But the big news for us is that this is the 1-year anniversary of No CB. We started, I think, on the 11th of December last year. Which is pretty crazy. This is like a random idea I had, talking to Father Loris at ParadoxCon in like 2018 or 17 or something like that. And then finally just decided to do it. So yeah, we've been going for a whole year. I'm curious, do either of you have like a favorite episode or like a favorite moment from the last year of shows?
I mean, it'd be nice if you'd asked me before the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, I believe I did. One sec. I think I have evidence. I think I even said that in the
So yeah, December 11th,
main
we
topic.
were live for 1 hour.
Main topic, 1 year of no CB, chill with chat, favorite moments. Thank you for all your support. Vicky 3 win, have a great holiday, etc. is what I put in the show notes. So yeah, I did tell you before the podcast.
It's like an hour before the podcast.
Well, yeah, I do everything at the last minute. That's like my brand. That's not gonna change anytime soon.
Yes. I mean, even while we're live
oh.
here, I'm rendering episode 50 for YouTube because those just finally got up this
Listen,
week.
we don't need to talk about that. Anyway.
But hey, we
also,
have episodes on YouTube now. We didn't a year ago.
That's true. We didn't 6 months ago either, I don't think. Chat, you're welcome to chime in too. If you have any questions for us, if you have like a favorite episode or like a favorite moment. Honestly, I think just like some of the completely non-game related tangents are my favorites. And like, I wish he was here, but just like a peek inside the magical life of Father Lawrence.
Yes.
He's like, he's chasing a horse, or like he doesn't have stairs or something.
It's
like
so random.
just like the stuff that he will bring up offhandedly at the end of the episode, where like I'm just like, I don't know what like weird Welsh fairy tale world you're living in, but it's like it's always very entertaining.
I gotta say, one of my favorite things is every week seeing what you've chosen to name the episodes, because
Yes.
some of them are just absolutely delightful.
I have a lot of fun with the episode names. Let me see if I can. I'm going to pull up our SoundCloud to see if I can go through some of my favorites.
There's
I definitely.
quite a number of fun names. I mean, our very first episode was called Loading History Files.
I mean, that one's
Right.
great. That one makes sense. But like episode 3, don't kink shame the ring wraiths. I don't even remember
That was
why
amazing.
it's called that, but it's amazing and I love it.
I remember exactly why it was called that, and I think that was like the moment that the show clicked, more or less. Like that was like that whole exchange we had about the Lord of the Rings mod for Imperator was like the first time that I really felt like, okay, I think we figured this out.
I mean, and then we have other ones that are just like, why? Number 5, top 10 types of slavery.
Yeah, I still Karate Trotsky Eats the World is still one of my favorites.
Oh, our whole tangent about, yeet him out of the window. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that one.
What was with the Lambert gives out his password?
I don't even know where that came from.
No, it was your you said your multiplayer password was 123.
Oh.
That's what the episode was named after.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Work from home Panzer Crew was good. That was like right when quarantine started. We were talking about
Sheep
how you
cred.
could work from home. Yeah, that was good. Cooking Mama Total War. That was another good Father Loris poll right there.
I did appreciate Close Encounters of the Humankind. Like, that was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. Don't Talk to Me or My Josin ever again. That was a quality meme right there.
There's 3 episodes with the word tangent in them.
Yeah, I'm surprised it was only 3. Like, I've had to stop myself from like naming every episode something tangent something. Coalcast with Father Loris. That was the other when we went into like anthracite versus bauxite.
Yeah.
Debate or whatever.
See,
that was a good one.
This isn't even here for May 29th. Syphilis, you don't want that.
Are we wrong?
Yeah.
Are
What
we wrong,
happened?
though? We're not wrong,
You
though.
hate to see it.
Were we looking
Apparently-
at the ruler designer?
Yeah, that was I think that might have been the episode where they first showed the dev diary that showed what all the different diseases looked like.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that might have been it.
Apparently,
Yeah.
chat
And then of course,
likes Jeff.
Oh, Jesus.
yeah. There was no episode number on that. It was just no CB episode. Jeff, there is no episode 46.
Yeah, it's just like all of these. no CB 044 dash with the date, no CB Jeff. Can I just point out as well, higher views than this one, and then higher views again.
So I guess mentioning Jeff in the title is a good way to get the YouTube algorithm to
ignore
us.
Yeah.
They don't like Jeff for some reason.
Considering how late some of these videos went up on YouTube, I'm surprised that none of them have 0 views. I mean, I think the lowest is 7 for Grand Strategy is for everyone.
We got 5 down here.
Oh, there's a 5.
I don't like that. That's the one with the lowest views. You guys go listen to that episode.
Tangent Kings 3 is actually the lowest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like these were the people who would be watching the podcast are like they're here in chat for the most part.
Uh-huh.
Plus,
and
if you
also,
watch the reruns
Menace
on
helps
stream,
me
you get the
bang your mom. It also has 5 views.
That one might be that it got flagged or something because of the title. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's a way to sort. Actually, this is popular for like this week. It's not most popular all time. Because I think the first episode. Oh no, actually, Rosebud Breaks Embargo looks like it has the most views on SoundCloud. So I guess I don't know if they were clicking for Rosebud or they were clicking because they thought we actually broke an embargo and they were gonna learn something secret. But yeah, we have I think almost every episode now has over 1,000 listens on SoundCloud, which is pretty awesome. So yeah.
We have some reviews over on iTunes.
Oh yeah. Let's what are our iTunes reviews looking like?
Well, speaking of Rosebud, I think I might have to go grab him.
Oh, go for it.
We have a question in the chat as well. Grand Strategist, I'm torn between playing either CK3 or EU4. What's the best recommendations? They've got 20 hours in EU4, Hearts of Iron 4, Stellaris, and they can't seem to stick to one. But I know what your recommendation is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I like CK3. I mean, I like Crusader Kings in general better, just because of the character focus. But if you have 20 plus hours in EU4 and you've never played CK3, I'd say just give it a shot. Is it still on Games Pass?
I don't know the answer.
Because I think you could try it out for $5 if it is.
I am back. The Rosebud is here. Truemaster is asking if I use push to talk. No, my sister is actually staying with us while we're waiting to close on the house. And so she was watching him. And he was out in the living room. But he had enough of her and missed his mom.
It looks like CK3 is still on Games Pass. So yeah, if you haven't played it and you want to try it out, I think it's like $5 for the first month or something. So
yep.
Stellaris
is also on Game Pass.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is it?
But they took Imperator off, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
EU4 is actually on Game Pass as well.
Oh, I had no idea.
Me neither. I have Game Pass, but I've not used it for these because obviously I got them on Steam anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, if you've
Alfred in chat is saying that he believes all of the base games are on Game Pass. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Imperator Rome is not. It's you can buy it on the Xbox store, but it's not part of the Game Pass.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, CK3 versus EU4 depends on what you prefer, but if you already have more than 20 hours in EU4, I'd say give CK3 a try, because you probably at that point kind of know how you feel about EU4 already. So
yeah,
I think it's definitely worth a try. It's the tutorial in CK3 is actually really easy to get into as well. It's one of the better tutorials that Paradox has. So definitely give it a shot.
Probably the best tutorial. Actually, I'm certain it's the best tutorial.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's some awesome videos by One Proud Bavarian and Roll1D2 Games up on the Paradox channel over on YouTube,
and
where they talk about other features.
True Master's also asking, have you played Star Sector? It's basically Mount and Blade in space with the ability to explore space and make your own colonies. I have never played that, no.
I haven't played Star Sector, no.
Mount and Blade in space sounds interesting, though. I would definitely be open to checking that out.
Speaking of that, there was a tweet between who was it? One of the Stellaris devs and A-Spec. Basically, what kind of game set in the Stellaris universe would you like? Like, what different genre? And I did say that I would like to see a kind of a rogue trader, kind of like flying through space, bringing resources from planet to planet kind of game set in the Stellaris universe. Because then, like, your end game could be one of the end game crises or something like that. I would like to see something like that. So I guess that's sort of like Star Sector's description just there.
Especially if you can play as Jeff, then that would just make it.
You had to ruin it. You had to ruin it.
No, it's ruining it. Jeff never ruins anything.
I mean, he's undead, so you know you could do like Jeff Dark Souls. He dies over and over again, but then he always comes back because he's a Necroid. So, yeah, that's what I want. I want Dark Souls in space, but you play as Jeff.
Just absolutely ruined it for me there.
Yeah. Let's see. I was looking to see if we missed any other questions in chat. Did
you look at the reviews over on iTunes while I ran away?
Oh, let me see if I can pull those. I don't have iTunes installed, and it always.
Oh, you don't need that.
When I wanna...
You just have to. Here, we have the link. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't use iTunes or Spotify, so I just leave that all stuff up to you.
There we go. So yeah, we got 23 ratings and we're sitting at 4.8 stars. So thank you to everybody who's left reviews there. Yeah.
1-star review. Because they didn't like a certain episode.
Because somebody was mad that we were trying to be inclusive, but that's the internet for you. Yeah. TC4 I the King, I believe is how I would parse that. Said informative and fun, plus there is a baby nicknamed Rosebud that coos in the background a lot, which is the cutest thing in the world. 10 out of 10. So yeah, Rosebud's really the reason we have so many 5-star reviews. It doesn't really have anything to do with all of us. We had Rowdy Yabo said Rosebud and the 3 L's, Lambert, Liana, and Loris. Deliver grand strategy and GS adjacent news. It's not always GS adjacent.
It's definitely not. It's pure tangent.
Tangents.
With a fine assortment of digressions, industry experts occasionally show up in their chat and the cast to provide zest. It's a great GRATE. So got points for the pun there. Recommended for its focus on an important subgenre of strategy gaming.
I like that. That's a damn good.
Yeah. We had a review by Stubby Wolf that the title is very neat. They know history and they RP grand strategy games. It's awesome. And then Alba White said, congratulations. I found the show through 3MA. That's 3 Moves Ahead. That's the other strategy podcast that I produce. While I'm not a Paradox loyalist, I love their camaraderie, enthusiasm, insight, and sincerity, non-broiness. Yeah, I think compared to a lot of YouTube, we are very low on the bro.
I think podcast
the bro
culture
factor
is very bro-y as well.
It is. It usually is, yeah. Quality is so rare in gaming. Hope they do a lot more outside of Paradox, though, and keep it up. So, yeah. Thank you to everybody who took time to leave a rating or write a written review. Anytime you do that, it helps us get seen by more people, so that's awesome.
I know that in some jobs, especially like customer service jobs, when people are getting reviews from customers, I think they'll get a survey after their call or whatever. Generally, they ignore the 10 out of 10s and the 1 out of 10s because they're generally not really representative. Like the customer may not care or whatever. I just like to point out, if we were to do that here, we'd have no reviews. Because it's either everyone gave us a 5 out of 5 apart from that one person.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
that one person.
There's always going to be that one guy.
Yeah.
About that one episode.
Yeah, there's always going to be, like, you post, like, a really great video, and there's always going to be that, like, 1% of dislikes for no reason. Like, so.
Well, it
Rosebud
could
is
be.
showing his disinterest at people.
Yeah, Rosebud's yelling. Rosebud's yelling at the person who wrote us a 1-star review. Like, come on, come on.
I mean, this Yukila person might just be a huge fan of me because that's the only episode I've missed.
Well, apparently they also don't like our tangents.
Yeah, that's right.
But they
don't
didn't
like
write
us going
that, so
off
fuck
script.
Lambert, I think you're the only person that has, like, pretty close to perfect attendance.
Yeah, I mean, I was
like,
in
an
chat
episode
during.
that you opted.
Yeah,
there was one episode you opted out of, but every other.
But I was still there in chat.
Yes.
Yeah, so
no, it's a
that's
fun part of my week.
dedication.
So why not?
Oh, see,
Right, so now's the.
Cecily's favorite part of the podcast are our off-script detours and the desperate segues to get him back on track.
It's like trying to pull up an airplane at, like, the last minute. Yeah. All right, so now's the part of the show where we make everybody pick between us. So everybody, no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I think you would say Father Loris because he's not here.
I think everyone's voting Rosebud.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Everybody's just going to vote for Rosebud. They don't care about us. But
Rosebud's currently playing with a fork.
Rosebud, who is actually younger than this show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
It's about 4 months pregnant when we started this show.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy year, and honestly, having this outlet to kind of focus on has been pretty helpful, I think.
Yeah.
Just to my general sanity. So.
It's a nice rock.
It is. Well, unless there are any final thoughts or questions, I think we'll probably wrap it up for this year. We are quite eager to put behind us. That is 2020.
I mean, it brings new meaning to the words 2020. Hindsight is 2020.
Right. Yeah. I hope that it remains in hindsight. So we'll probably be off the next 2 weeks. Probably coming back on January 6th. We'll be off the week of the 23rd, the week of the 30th for winter holiday fun times and other related obligations.
Drunken revelry.
I have movers scheduled on the 30th. So
Rose is moving. Yeah, and so thanks for joining us for our first year. I mean, I don't really see this ending anytime soon necessarily, so tell your friends, and we'll be back in the new year to bring you more grand strategy news and tangents and Rosebud scolding people who leave us 1-star reviews. Rose, did you have any final thoughts / anything you're doing over the break that people might want to pay attention to?
I know I'll be trying to stream some Humankind over the next couple days since I'm not moving till after that it's all over, so yay.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Lambert, what about yourself?
Well, I'm streaming some Humankind tomorrow. About the same time as this podcast started. So I'm streaming Humankind tomorrow and probably Friday as well. I'll be streaming some of my latest run in CK3 where I've recreated Augustus from the DNA that he has in the files. and he is Hellenic and Roman, and I'm going to try and form the Roman Empire as a Hellenic Roman character, which is going... I mean, I'm on my third try, but it's going swimmingly. So I'll probably be streaming some more of that. Plus some other assorted games. Tuesdays have been EU4, but I think we're packing it up for the winter as well now. But yeah, I'm not going to stop streaming over the winter, other than maybe like Christmas Day and such. So yeah, expect me around.
Yeah,
I'll probably be doing a fair. Oh, go for it.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You were talking about you bringing Augustus back, and it just reminded me of my Victoria run where we were over on YouTube, where Queen Victoria turned into Empress Victoria I, so there is no Vicky 3.
Well, Queen Victoria was also an empress in real life as well.
She was a pet. She went back in time to the year 867, and suddenly she was just the petty queen of Mercia.
Right.
And then she has to start all over again to form an empire.
Yeah, but she can still do it. She's good enough to do it.
Do either of you have like a run planned out for the open dev? Like, do you know what cultures you're going to want to try out first for each of the eras?
I don't. I'll go with whichever ones, catch my eye at the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get the label. If I'm all on the coast, so I'll go with Phoenicia. If I've got someone who's really, hounding at me, I'll go with someone militarist so I can kick their ass. But yeah, I'm not sure just yet.
Obviously, I'm excited to finally be able to try out the Norse because they haven't been in any previous open dev scenario. But I'm sure that's shocking. Yeah. So
yeah, no one saw this coming. Not a person.
About 2 hours after this ends, which is going to be 4:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which would be 6:30 Eastern, and I have had too much to drink already to do the GMT conversion. I'm going to be streaming over on Lore Sworn Order with our good friend DM Schmeier. We're going to be counting down our top 10 games of 2020. And I don't know.
CK3.
Probably playing something. Yeah.
That's what Rosebud was just telling you.
Spoilers.
CK3 better be number one.
Yeah. I don't like CK3. Yeah. It's going to be there.
Don't spoil it, you two. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We'll probably play something that's just like some BS game we can talk over. But the real point is that we're going to be doing our top 10 games of 2020 lists. And then this weekend I'll be resuming the Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough that you guys helped me fund because I'm committed to finishing that, and probably be doing a fair bit of streaming over the break because I've been so freaking busy for the last 3 weeks that I haven't really had any time to stream at all. And like, honestly, with all this time off, like I just want to. Yeah. Like I don't feel like I have to. I just feel like it'd be something fun to do. So I'll probably be doing quite a bit of streaming over the next few weeks. But remember to subscribe to the podcast. You can follow us on Twitch, SoundCloud, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher. We're no CBcast. We're on pretty much everywhere. And if you have some friends who are interested in grand strategy, maybe this little hiatus here would be a good time for them to get caught up on it if they're interested in a weekly grand strategy news podcast. And we will be back on January 6th in the new year, hopefully with some new news to talk about. Otherwise, I'm sure we can come up with enough tangents to get us through until the dev diaries start up again. And thanks for 1 year. We really appreciate you coming. We really appreciate having you here. And we look forward to much, much more. And Rosebud says hi. Happy holidays and all that good stuff.
It cap quite fits, Rosebud.
You're doing a good job at the human guided motion tracking, though.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't do that.
Bye, everybody.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.